this. Anyway, I think that's all I have. Are you guys ready for your headliner? Awesome. This comic always makes me giggle and laugh. The wonderful Maddy Halland.
Check. All right. Why is that funny? I know what I look like right now, especially underneath these lights. I kind of look like a cherry tomato that fell behind the stove and came out covered in hair with a BA in philosophy. And I don't have a BA in philosophy. I just have all of the pretensions of someone who does. I had like a lot of things happen to me over the pandemic. I did all the same things we all did. I watched Tiger King. I made sourdough. I've done way too many Zoom meetings. I questioned the very foundations of my gender identity and sexual relations to the rest of the human consciousness. And yoga was pretty fun too. I came out as non-binary this year. Thank you. And I am I love being a part of the LGBTQ plus community, but I feel like we need to be a little bit more creative when it comes to like names of stuff. Like when I came out, I have a lot of nieces and nephews. They have been traumatized by tonight, probably. Over there. And I was looking up what they should call me, because they can't call me uncle anymore. And, I found out that the accepted gender-neutral term for aunt or uncle is uncle. And, come on, guys, we can do better. Like, we can do better than that. I feel like that's combining two already existing terms. That's just adding, that's not even adding a syllable. I feel like that, if I said that across the room at you, you could reasonably assume that I was just putting a little extra stank on the beginning of uncle. There's my uncle. Okay, why do you need to try to do like a fake Cajun thing? Is that what that was? COVID. One of the things that COVID stopped for me is, as a disabled person, you tend to get hugged in the streets a lot more than you would assume, and I used to hate it. But now it is literally all I want in this world. I haven't been asked how I pooped by a child in over a year. Someone asked me, "Do I have a license for this thing, please?" And I just need to feel normal again. It's like questions about whether or not I was in an accident. For me, that came before taking off the mask when I go to the grocery store. Dope. Here's another thing about me. Is that I'm a history nerd. I know that's a white guy thing, but I'm not a white guy anymore. So technically, I'm not fitting the stereotype. So but I was just thinking about this the other day. Julius Caesar was a great conqueror. Well, great, conquerors are great in the same way that you're great at downing a pint of ice cream after a breakup. Like, you're great at it, but is it an achievement? I would say yes. But no, Julius Caesar literally conquered the entirety of modern France, changed the government of the state he worked for, got himself declared a god after he died, and his name is so famous we still put it on pizza franchises today. Like, isn't that insane? Think about that for a second. A guy whose name, and I'm not making this up, is the root word for king in at least 5 languages. That guy also means crazy bread and affordable pizza. Which, I mean, I feel like that wasn't my fault. That was you guys. That was your fault. I feel like that gives me hope that all of the dickwads who put their names on buildings everywhere, we know where they're going to end up in like 2,000 years at least. So, like, I have a feeling that, like, Jeff Bezos, once he finally does snap and try to declare himself the king of Amazonia on the moon or whatever, in like 200 years he'll be like the name of like a sunglass place in the mall, and that's like fitted, like just desserts, in my book. So I grew up in a rather large family. That's our whole like little enclave right there. And one thing about growing up in a large family when you're disabled is they talk to you in ways that would get other people's necks broken in public. Like, I have a very distinct memory of being in middle school and my older brother, like making a crack out my chair. Like, I said, you know, I would love to stand at your side during graduation. And he said, I'm sure you would love to. And then a shoe hit his head. And this person, who I don't know their whole deal, they might have had a disabled relative, but I feel like opening a conversation about what is cool and what is not cool in terms of like disability relations, like, I mean, I'm with you, but it don't really begin with a shoe to the head, does it? I mean, maybe it does. I think that's how we should begin all like debate shows on cable news now too. Like, if someone wants to make a stupid point, they have to tank a stiletto to the temple. And if they can still make a point after that, that proves that they are good enough at speaking. But so here's another thing about me. I'm gonna begin every joke like that. So you know what? So you know what's about me and what's not about me. This is the thing about. I love D&D. Like, it's the worst. No, because what it is just making up stories about math, essentially, because it's just rolling dice and determining outcomes like that. And it was the last like bit of nerdiness that I resisted. And I feel like that coincided really well with my coming out as bisexual and non-binary, because coming to terms with yourself as a D&D nerd is very similar to coming to terms with yourself as a bisexual or non-binary. You start to look at dice, and you're like, oh, those are cute. Those are fun. And then you hold a couple of dice in your hand. And then you feel how they feel, the weight of them, and you feel the things they make you feel inside. And then as you drop the last bit of pride in yourself, as you become a D&D nerd, you pick up the pride you need to be a queer person in this world. It's pretty much that. Also, just as much debating about names and labels in D&D. I am a disability advocate. I feel like I should disclose. Yeah. And I was arrested for the first time in Washington, D.C. 2 years ago. And how we got arrested is we all went down to the intersection outside of the Department of Health and Human Services, or HO, Health Services Office. I don't know the name. Are you gonna ask me? Like, do you want to know the name? It's like I feel like you've been asking questions. I mean, you can ask me the name. Like I can look it up right now. We sat outside for 3 hours in the baking sun, shouting slogans, and at the end of it, the chief of police comes up and one by one asks for our IDs, and then if we refuse to leave, he arrests us, and we all get herded into this one area. And I eventually, my turn comes up, and I get arrested. I wasn't gonna say no. I'm in the middle of this, but after watching everyone else get bracelets put on them, I think that's too hardcore. So I got arrested and go into this like shaded area, and people in my group, because we got arrested in groups, people in my group, one of them, I was talking to them, and I was saying, yeah, this is my first action, my first protest action with ADAPT, the organization I'm with, and it's my first time getting arrested. What was your first action like? And they were like, oh, I welded my chair to a bus. So it's like, that kind of fucking deflated my, like, that's like if you, like, went up to a person who survived a house fire and said, oh, I accidentally, like, held a match a weird way and burnt my finger a little bit. But yeah, disability history is not taught in schools because it would make everyone else's history feel bad. Disabled people occupied the California state capitol for 30 days. Over 30 days. Mike's judging me if I get any of these facts wrong. Google it. Like they did that for 30 days, and when they turned off the power, they couldn't communicate and they couldn't have heat. So disabled people would get the deaf and hard of hearing people to sign out the windows and on the roof to see what people needed. Like they messaged in code, and like, screw your cherry tree. Like, I can't tell a lie. That's not. Did you guerrilla warfare advocacy? No, you didn't. I'm going to recommend something. Just so you know, this is about me also. Keeping the system consistent. I'm going to give you some advice. If you ever want to feel confident, bold, really willing to put yourself out there in the world, walk around with a bag of piss on your leg. I am, as a disabled person, I can't use a toilet as efficiently, I guess. I haven't honed my process very well. So I use a leg bag. And you know what is great when you are in DC and you're getting patted down to go into Greg Gianforte's office is to look in a police officer's eye as he touches a bag of your warm pee and try to explain it like, okay, this is not a bag of liquid explosive. You just yelled at me kind of weird, and that kind of, I got scared. That is my version of like a dog showing you its belly. Like, this is how you know I will not be engaging in any combat today. I am very non-combative. I really am very non-combative. I avoid conflict as much as possible, which is not going to be easy tonight, probably, coming home. So I avoid conflict however I can, up into and including lying about who I am as a person, and that's not good for you. I'm gonna let you know. So I have kind of let people in my life think that I was straight and gender conforming. I mean, right now I look like the straightest person in the universe, but if I could, I'd be much gayer. Good 25. I look like if IT of every single company was in one person, but I am much gayer than this, I assure you. One thing I want to leave you guys with tonight is if you ever feel like you might need to hide who you are, just think about all of the effort all of the lying would take. Because it's not the lying, it's the effort in the lying that gets me more often than not. So if people would just really easily accept that I was straight or a dude, I would not do it. I would lie so easily because I will do anything to avoid any sort of labor, up to and including faking being in a wheelchair for 23 years. Easier than you'd think. You all bought no. I didn't fake that. What else? That's great when you hear a comedian say "what else" because it really tells you that they did not think it through. Which I did not think it through. So I have this phenomena that goes on in my life. This is also about me. Where I tend to assume people are into my interests. I try to explain the lore of Middle Earth because are you ready for this? This is going to shock you to your cores. I'm into Lord of the Rings too. I know, because you thought, okay, they're into D&D, but surely not Lord of the Rings. No, Lord of the Rings is very basic level. I tried to explain the concept of Lord of the Rings while a person was trying to explain that they can't really have a conversation about the One Ring with my pants off in their doctor's office. That's not a thing that doctors are trained to do, but I think they should be, right? I think every doctor, when you get your degree, you should get the diploma, you should get the pin, you should get the coat, the stethoscope, and the Silmarillion. That's just for that is literally just for you. And I guess you two did. I'm going to leave you with one longer story. One story that is longer than the others. It is the story of how it is the story of how it has taken me like 6 months to apply for a job I am already currently doing. So I applied to work. I have been working with BASE. You know the thing. Since I got out of high school, and I dropped out of college. That's appropriate. I dropped out of college, couldn't do it, and I started working with BASE, and they really taught me what it truly means to care for someone, even though, like, you're going through some stuff. And this is the part where it gets less fun for like a second. So you guys, hold in there, because I am going to say a funny thing. That's how jokes work. So I worked with BASE for 5 years, and then finally, because some stuff went down last year, COVID, I decided I can't really afford not to get paid to do anything anymore. So I decided, because the way this country is set up, and it's a good system, is you can either be poor or like middle class, but there's no in between. It's a good system because it keeps people poor, and that's awesome. So like I can't save over $2,000. Anyway, it's a whole thing. So I've been doing this work for 5 years, and I think I should finally get paid. And of course, Mike and John are both on board for it. And then they give me the application, and I do the application like 2 days ago, and they gave this to me in February. And it's literally like a decision where like dignity, human dignity, is being able to work and make the world a better place while making yourself better. I feel like that is a part of what America is supposed to be. And it has never been for a lot of people. Again, there'll be funny parts. So I finally get this done, and then I realize, so what does being an advocate and being a comedian mean? And what it means is you get to do awesome stuff like this, but you also get to bring like your armada of a family in and tell them the show is PG-13 and not think about it. And so the last moment, no fault of your own, y'all back there. I didn't think this through. I will have to ride home with my parents tonight. So, like, I guess, like, when they find my body, make sure at least part of the face looks good. So I'm going to leave you with one last thing. One final thing. If any of you actually try to hug me, I know I said I wanted to be hugged by strangers. Any of you try that crap, once we get out of here, I will go Professor X on you so fast. And I just really want dumb people to start believing that all people in wheelchairs are Professor X. Because I feel like next time I get on a bus and someone takes up 3 seats, like laying out, and they're like, they have no reason for it, and they're being a dick to the driver, I can just go and make them think, are they melting my brain right now? Too bad there wasn't much there to begin with. Oh, I'm mean, I'm sorry. Happy Pride, y'all. Yeah. It's me.
Keep it going for Maddy, everybody. Keep it going. And keep it going for BASE as well. We're supporting BASE tonight, but feel free to donate some more. You can donate online and whatever. We'll be back in July. And thanks for coming. Bye.